Hi everybody, Karen Carter here. Time to move your stuff and change your life. And today I want to talk about stoves. What the heck? What's it about stoves? So stoves are considered a prosperity generator. Prosperity generator in your house. The more burners you have, the more prosperous you are. That's sort of like the little feng shui rule. So think about it, like the rich people have that big, wolf or Viking or whatever it's called, stove with the grill in the middle, and they got 6 or 8 burners, the commercial grade stove, and the little poor guy's got one little hot plate, if anything, right? So we're looking for the amount of burners in your stove. Make sure they all work. If you have 4, put a little mirror nearby, because in feng shui there's no difference between it or a reflection of it. So why not make 8, because it would be so I got a little allergy here. If you have 4 burners, when you place a little mirror somewhere in the reflection, you've got now 8. So the feng shui rule is there is no difference between it or a reflection of it. So make 8 burners, why not? And make sure they're all working. Story time here. I did have one client. They were losing their house. And I went to the house to try to help them get it ready for sale, because they just said we're underwater, blah, 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 blah. And I was trying to get the stove, and they were like, oh, that doesn't work anyway. I'm like, what? The stove doesn't work? And they go, it hasn't worked for years. And their prosperity declined right with it. I don't know how you go for years without a stove. And I told them, if you just, if you could spend a little money on this and get a stove that works, A, it could turn things around where you could possibly keep the house, or B, it will at least garner you a decent price when you sell the house. So watch where that stove is. Another tip is, if you're standing at the threshold of your door and you're standing with your feet on the threshold looking into the house, and if you held your arms out straight out, would your stove fall in the space behind you? So maybe there's a piece of the house that goes back and around, and your kitchen is sticking out in front of the front door. If you have that situation where the stove is outside the house and not in the main house, where that's the energy is blowing into the front door. Now it has to go all the way around, right? So we want the stove in the house. If it's in front of the front door, it's technically out of the house, and that's a little bit of a prosperity hit. So if you want to bring that prosperity stove in, put a mirror somewhere in the house, which is behind the plane of the front door when you're walking in, and put it in line with the kitchen with the intention of reflecting that stove in the house. There's no difference between it or a reflection of it. So reflect it in the house, so you can now have the stove inside the house, anchoring your prosperity with that stove. A little bit of stove stuff. Hope that's been helpful for you, and hopefully you can up your prosperity just a little bit by doubling the amount of burners, or just cleaning the stove and getting it happy and healthy, because that's the state of your prosperity and income. Hope that's been helpful. Join me at the Move It with Karen, Move Your Stuff with Karen program, and show me where your stove is if you're at all confused about this. Or you can even show me your floor plans, and we can decide whether it's in the house or where to put the mirror, something like that. Happy to help out. So feel free to click on the links below.